Welcome to Social Psychology for the summer session. I am Dr. Williams, and you're going to be with me for the next 6 weeks, roughly. So this is just a podcast to acquaint you with what is in the Start Here menu, which I'm going to point you to is over here. Some of you have used Play-Doh before, some of you haven't, so there's varying degrees of familiarity with it. Typically, everything is here for you guys in this left-hand column. These are tabs that you can click on. When you open up in the class, it'll open up to the Announcements tab. So you're going to see an announcement pop up as soon as you open the page. And welcome to Social Psychology and some information from me. Once you've gone past that announcement, the next spot you should be going into is Start Here. Okay, so that's where I was just open to. And the Start Here menu is basically a place that I have parked a bunch of information that you're going to want to refer to immediately when you start the class, but also maybe even throughout the time in the course, as you may need to go back and look at certain things. So I've given you sort of a step-by-step, here's what you should do, just to make sure that as you're getting acquainted with the class, you're not missing any vital information or not knowing where to go. So I really encourage you to take a look at this Start Here menu thoroughly before you email me with any questions. Okay, so you're here, it's good, that means you're in Play-Doh. You're going to want to look over everything I've listed. We're going to talk about the modules in just a minute. Those are another component to Play-Doh. But first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check out my bio, which is here. It tells you a little bit about me, who I am, my background, just a way to share with you all since we don't see each other in person. And then you're going to be using it to write your own little bio, and you're going to be posting your own bio in the student lounge area. That's number 8 here, the posting. So that's going to come a little bit later, but go ahead and read over my bio and take a look at that. And we'll come back to what you're going to be doing in a minute. Then you're going to want to look at the syllabus. Of course, you can print it out. That's what I always recommend. So you have a print copy right next to you. It has all the due dates and all the important information about your grade and how you'll be evaluated. So although it's electronic, sometimes it's good to just print it out and have it next to you. These are this is the book for the class. There's 2 pictures here. This is the textbook. This is just the access code card. So if you buy your book through the campus bookstore, you're buying access to the ebook. So the campus bookstore doesn't have the physical book copy. They have the e-text. So you're buying an access code that allows you into the textbook, which is Social Psychology by Branscombe and Barron. And it's put out by Pearson as the publisher. And Revel is just the online platform that goes with the book. So Revel has a bunch of really cool resources for students to use along with the book. And that comes when you buy it from the bookstore automatically. You'll have access to Revel, you'll have the e-text. And so Revel gives you practice tests, practice quizzes, study guides, all kinds of stuff that students find really helpful for this class. If you purchase your book somewhere else, you do want to make sure that you get the most recent edition, which is the 14th edition, and that's published in 2017. I'm sure you can find this book online cheaper, but you want to make sure you get that one. And you also want to make sure that you get the Revel access. So let's just say that you purchase your book through a third party and you get it really cheap. You're going to want to then go into the Pearson website and purchase access to the textbook Revel resources. Okay, and I've given you information about how to do that and where to go for that. Because you're going to need that online platform for this class. It's got videos. I really recommend getting the e-text. I know some of you like paper copies. If you can find a cheap paper copy to have in addition, that would be great. But the e-text has embedded videos in the chapters. So since we're not meeting in person and you're reading a lot of the material on your own, this is a very textbook heavy class where you're required to engage with that reading, and the Revel platform helps you to do that. So as you're reading through the chapter, if there's a concept that there's a video that goes with it, they'll actually stop you and they'll say, oh, watch this video on pluralistic ignorance or on implicit bias. And so that's really helpful to have that. So if you're going to buy your book not through the bookstore, make sure that you're also going to the Pearson Higher Education website and getting that access code to the book's online resources. Okay, and I have instructions for logging into Revel once you have it. Let's go back up here. So you purchased your textbooks, you've printed out the syllabus, you've looked over that syllabus carefully. Then you're going to log into Revel, see what's there, see what you have access to. You've read my bio, hopefully at that point, and then you are ready to post your bio. And to post your bio, you're just going to go into discussions. You're going to see a bunch of different forums in here that we're going to be using throughout the class for our discussion board forums, which are all right here. But there's also a student lounge forum, and that's where you're going to click in, create a new thread, and tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bio. Who are you? Where are you from? What are you studying? If you can give a picture, that would be awesome, just so we can get a chance to get to know you a little bit. Another word about what's in these discussion forums, there's an Ask Dr. W discussion forum. So if you have a class-related question that other students might benefit from hearing my answer to, you can post it there, and then when I respond back, everyone can see it. If you have a question of a more personal manner, I would suggest emailing me at swilliams@westfield.ma.edu. Okay? But other than that, that's what you're going to be using that for. Let's go back to the Start Here menu. After you've done that, that's really it. You're ready then to go on to the first module for the class. So yours is not going to show all of these because I'm going to make these available to you by Sunday evening of each week. So all you're going to see for right now is Module 1. That's what's available to you. Module 1 is for week 1, which is the week that we're in now. And so that's the content that's going to be available for you to see. And that's all you're going to see when you're on here. These will not appear for you. My version is a little bit different. So if you click into Module 1, you're going to see all of the work for week 1. And actually, I give you a to-do list for the week. Helps keep you organized and, again, make sure you don't miss anything. But first thing when you get into this module is a podcast on what's here and what's available to you. So make sure you check that podcast. I'm not going to get into it here in this podcast, but I just want you to know it's there. So that's the Start Here menu. Talked a little bit about discussions and what's in there. There's also My Grades. This will keep track of everything you do in Plato, all of your graded material. There's Plato help and resources if you're having any issues logging in to Plato or errors, things like that. There's a lot of helpful stuff on there. You can also schedule visit with a person from our CIT department to chat with you if you're having any issues. Communications tab, you can click in there and email me. That sends the email through Plato, and I don't check that email as much. So I always prefer you just to email me directly. Again, swilliams@westfield.ma.edu. and I check that email fairly frequently. So that's a better method of getting hold of me. So that's all of that. Start here menu, just make sure you're acquainted with everything there. And when you've done that and you've posted your bio to the Student Lounge, you will be ready to click into Module 1 and get started on your work for the week.